The day they killed my daughter's therapy deer. It started with a gunshot. Not a distant pop you could mistake for a car backfiring or a branch snapping in the wind. It was close, sharp, and final, tearing through the quiet of our rural Virginia morning. I was on the porch, nursing a mug of black coffee, when the sound hit. My hand froze mid-sip. Then came the scream. "No, Daisy!" My daughter's voice, raw and broken, sliced through the air. The mug slipped from my grip, shattering on the deck. I was running before I knew it, boots pounding the dirt, heart hammering like a freight train. I found her in the pasture, kneeling beside a crumpled form. Bella, her therapy deer, lay still, her soft brown coat matted with blood. Daisy's hands were buried in Bella's fur, her sobs shaking her small frame. "Dad, they shot her. They shot her." I dropped beside her, my hand trembling as I touched Bella's side. No breath, no pulse. Her eyes were open, empty. My throat closed up, words stuck like gravel. Then I saw them two men in camo, rifles slung over their shoulders, standing at the edge of our property. One chuckled, like this was just another Saturday hunt. "Better not mess with our kill," he called. I stood, fists clenched so tight my knuckles ached. "That's no wild deer," I growled. "That's my daughter's therapy animal. You're on my land." The taller one shrugged. "The lady from the HOA gave us the gate code. Said it's open green space." "HOA? My land." Bella wasn't some stray. She was trained, certified, a lifeline for Daisy, who'd battled anxiety since her mom passed. And these men, with their smug grins, had put a bullet through her lungs. Daisy's cries grew louder. "She was my friend, Dad. We trained for the fair." I pulled her close, her tears soaking my shirt. This wasn't a mistake. It was a violation of our home, our trust, of the one thing that gave Daisy peace. Through the trees, I spotted her. Margaret, the HOA president, in a lavender jacket, arms crossed, was watching like a vulture. Her lips curled into a smirk. That's when I knew this wasn't just bad luck. This was war. I didn't say a word. I walked past Bella's body, past the hunters still loitering like they owned the place. In the shed, I unlocked the gun safe and pulled out my compound crossbow, sleek, silent, deadly. I grabbed a crowbar, a sledgehammer, and slid a hunting knife into my belt. The shed door slammed shut behind me, the sound echoing like a gavel. This wasn't about defense. It was about making them pay. Margaret was still there, standing by her gleaming BMW, her smirk unshaken. "You're overreacting," she said, voice dripping with condescension. "It's just a deer." I swung the sledgehammer. Her side mirror exploded in a shower of glass. She yelped, stumbling back. "Get off my land," I said, my voice low and steady. She sputtered. "This is community property. They had permission." "Community?" I spat. "You gave strangers my gate code and called it legal?" I turned to the hunters. One reached for his pocket, maybe a phone, maybe worse. I raised the crossbow. "Move, and I'll pin your knees to your truck." They froze. 2 quick shots, and their truck's front tires hissed flat. I grabbed a rock and smashed their windshield. "You want to play hunter? Try explaining this to a cop." One stammered. "We didn't know." I cut him off. "You didn't check. You've just been fired. You killed my daughter's best friend." The shorter one tried to bolt. I tackled him, my fist meeting his jaw. He hit the dirt, groaning. The other lunged, and I fired a bolt into his calf. He collapsed, screaming. Margaret shrieked. "You're a lunatic. You'll rot in jail." I stepped toward her, my shadow falling over her. "You put blood on my land. Now I'm putting fear in yours." She tripped, her lavender jacket smeared with mud, her confidence crumbling. I turned to Daisy, still sobbing in my wife Sarah's arms. "Go inside, sweetheart," I whispered. "Tell Mom to call the sheriff." Daisy's eyes were wide. "What's next, Dad?" I looked at the wrecked truck, the whimpering hunters, and Margaret scrambling away. I'm burying their arrogance. The sheriff arrived an hour later. Margaret was gone, her BMW's taillights long faded. The hunters were still there, one nursing a broken nose, the other clutching his leg. I didn't look at them. I carried a shovel to the pasture where Bella lay. Daisy watched from the kitchen window as I wrapped Bella in a tarp. "You didn't deserve this," I muttered, digging a grave. The work was heavy, the dirt clinging to my hands, grounding the rage in my chest. Sarah knelt beside me, silent. When it was done, I placed Bella's collar on the mound. No words, just silence. Then I saw Ida sign on the gate, flapping in the breeze. HOA Wildlife Trail. Public access. I ripped it down, tearing it to shreds. You let killers in, I growled, though Margaret couldn't hear. In the shed, I found a gas can and a stack of Margaret's fake HOA flyers. You want fire, Margaret? You'll get it. At 3 a.m., while Sarah and Daisy slept, I stood on the porch, staring at the hunter's truck, still parked by the fence. I grabbed the gas can and one of Margaret's flyers, her signature scrawled across it. Access granted. I doused the truck, tucked the flyer under the wiper, and lit a flare. You drew the map, I said, tossing it. The truck erupted in flames, a roaring beast of light and heat. It wasn't revenge. It was a message. You don't kill what's innocent and call it paperwork. Sirens wailed in the distance. I stood by Bella's grave as the deputy approached. You again, Tom, he muttered. Damn right, I said. He looked at the smoldering wreck, then at me, and said nothing. But hours later, a new fire burned. Sarah woke me at dawn, screaming, the memorial. We ran outside, smoke stinging our eyes. The wooden arch we'd built for Bella flowers, ribbons, her collar was ablaze. A red gas can, half melted, lay nearby. Margaret's brand, from her HOA shed. Daisy wailed, why do they hate us? I grabbed a hose, but it was too late. The collar was ash, the arch charcoal. This wasn't vandalism. It was a declaration of war. I handed the sheriff our trail cam footage. Even in a hooded coat, Margaret's purple scarf gave her away. She's done, Sheriff Dan said, holding the melted can. But her lawyer's slick. She'll claim it's fake. Sarah's voice was steel. Then we bury her with proof. That's when Ellen, a former HOA member, called. I have emails, she said. Margaret bribed the board gift cards, vacations, even paid someone's car loan to redraw property lines. One email read, the ranchers won't fight. They're weak. My blood boiled. She'd burned Daisy's peace. Now I'd burn her empire. 2 days later, Margaret pulled up in her BMW, a cheap-suited lawyer in tow. We're here on HOA business, she announced, clipboard in hand. Her lawyer, Harold, droned. Your property violates green space rules. That memorial's illegal. I laughed, bitter. You mean the one you torched? Margaret smirked. Rules are rules. Sarah started recording. You're trespassing, she said. Smile for the camera. Margaret's composure cracked. Daisy ran out, waving her tablet. Dad, Ellen sent proof. Emails detailed Margaret's bribes, her fake maps, and her lies. This is it, Sarah whispered. We end her. That night, I didn't sleep, my shotgun across my lap. Margaret wouldn't stop, but neither would I. The emergency HOA meeting was a circus. Margaret pushed a vote to seize our land, her loyalists clutching agendas like shields. Daisy sat beside me, clutching her notebook. A man blocked us at the door. Kids can't speak. New rule. Margaret cooed. We wouldn't want to upset the child. Daisy stepped forward. I'm not upset. I want to talk about Bella. Inside, Margaret pitched her land grab. I stood, holding a flash drive. You don't vote on stolen land. Ellen rose. I have her emails. Ted, a neighbor, added, original maps. This ranch isn't HOA property. Sheriff Dan walked in. Margaret's under investigation. Vote, and your accomplices. The room froze. Margaret screamed, liars. Then Daisy's voice cut through. I'm not a liar. Bella was my friend. You let them kill her. The crowd erupted in applause. Margaret's reign was over. She didn't go quietly, screaming as Dan cuffed her. Her empire collapsed fake budgets, stolen funds, forged permits. She'd sold 60 illegal hunting passes, landing her in federal crosshairs. Our ranch became evidence, Daisy a witness. The press swarmed, and Daisy spoke. This land is ours. Bella mattered. So does the truth. The county ruled our ranch a protected Zanino HOA. No hunters, ever. We rebuilt Bella's memorial with neighbors' help. Jim brought lumber, the Carter kids laminated drawings, and Ellen painted a sign. Bella, our light. Daisy planted wildflowers, whispering Bella's name. A federal agent warned of more hunters, misled by Margaret's lies. I told him, if they come, they'll leave limping. He nodded. Get a lawyer. Daisy became a symbol. Her story went viral. Girl defeats HOA tyrant. Letters poured in, one from a boy in Ohio. My therapy dog saved me. You saved us all. 6 months later, we held a vigil. Hundreds came, sharing stories of animals who healed them. Daisy said, "Small voices can be loud when they tell the truth." The crowd echoed her words. Margaret got life fraud, arson, and endangering Daisy. Her mug shot, haggard and broken, was plastered on every news site. Daisy's words outlived her. Our ranch stood strong, Bella's memorial glowing under solar lanterns. Daisy hung a new plaque. She taught me to speak. This isn't just about a deer. It's about lines you don't cross. Margaret weaponized the rules to destroy. I fought back because Daisy deserved better than pain dressed as policy. Sometimes, justice wears a crossbow. Sometimes, it wears a child's voice. What would you have done? Would you have fought like I did, or walked away? Drop justice in the comments if you believe it's earned, not given. Share your thoughts. When is violence justified against injustice? When does silence hurt more than speaking out? Like, subscribe, and share this story with someone who needs to know. The quietest voices can roar the loudest.